Jambo Sana, my name is Tuk Jakech. I am your trainer from Moibin Technical and Vocational College. I am so happy to see you all here today. Welcome to our first lesson together. We are going to learn about the petrol engine. This is the heart of most cars you see on our roads. It is a very important subject for any mechanic. Do not worry if it seems complicated now. We will take it step by step, nice and slow. By the end you will understand it very well. I promise you this. Let us begin this journey together, my friends. So, what is this thing we call an engine? Let us make it simple. An engine is a machine, a very clever machine, you see. It is designed to change energy from one form to another. In our case, it takes the chemical energy stored in petrol. Then it burns this petrol in a special way. This burning creates a powerful force. This force creates movement, or what we call mechanical power. Think of it like cooking ugali. You use the heat from the fire, the energy, to turn maize, flour, and water into something that gives you strength to work. The engine does something similar. The engine uses this power to turn the wheels of a car, or to run a generator for electricity, or even to pump water from a well with a water pump. It is the main source of power for the vehicle. Without the engine, a car is just a metal box. It cannot move. It cannot take you to Eldoret or bring goods to the market. So the engine is truly the boss. It is the muscle that makes the machine come alive and do its job. Understanding it is the first big step to becoming a great mechanic. So to summarize it in the simplest way possible for you, an engine is a power converter. It takes the fuel, which is petrol, and burns it. This burning creates a small explosion. This explosion pushes parts inside the engine. These moving parts create a turning force. This turning force, this is what makes the car go forward. It is a beautiful and powerful process, my friends, and you are here to learn all its secrets. Let us get ready for the next part, where we look inside this amazing machine. Now, let us open up the engine and see what is inside. Like a body has a heart, bones, and muscles, the engine has its own parts. These parts must all work together perfectly. The main part is the cylinder block. This is like the foundation of a house, a big block of metal. It holds everything else. Inside this block we have cylinders. These are round holes like tubes where all the action happens. A small engine might have 3 or 4 cylinders. A big V8 engine in a big Land Cruiser will have 8. Inside each cylinder there is a piston. A piston is a round metal plug that fits very tightly. It moves up and down, inside the cylinder. It is like the plunger you might use to clear a pipe, always moving. This piston is connected to a connecting rod. The connecting rod is like your arm. It connects the piston to another very important part. This part is called the crankshaft. The crankshaft is a long, strong metal rod with bends in it. When the piston moves up and down, the connecting rod pushes the crankshaft, making it turn round and round. On top of the cylinder block, we have the cylinder head, or as some mechanics call it, the cylinder head is like the roof of the house. It seals the top of the cylinders. Inside the cylinder head we find the valves. There are at least 2 for each cylinder, an intake valve and an exhaust valve. The intake valve is the door for the fuel and air mixture to enter. The exhaust valve is the door for the used gases to leave. We also have the spark plug, or this little thing creates the spark that ignites the fuel. Finally, we have the camshaft. This is another rod that has lobes or bumps on it. As the camshaft turns, the bumps push open the valves at exactly the right time. It is like a conductor in an orchestra, telling each valve when to open and when to close. All these parts, the cylinder block, the piston, the crankshaft, the cylinder head, the valves, and the camshaft, must be strong. They must be well oiled. They must work in perfect harmony for the engine to run smoothly. Remember these names, they are your new family now. So, how do all these parts work together to create power? They perform a beautiful 4-step dance. We call this the 4-stroke cycle. It happens very, very fast. Faster than you can blink your eye, but we will slow it down. The 4 strokes are intake, compression, power, and exhaust. Think of it as a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, squeeze, push, exhale. Let us look at the first step, the first stroke. This is the intake stroke. The piston starts at the top of the cylinder and moves down. As it moves down, the intake valve opens, and a mixture of petrol and air is sucked into the cylinder, just like you breathe in air. The second stroke is the compression stroke. Now the intake valve closes. The piston moves back up the cylinder. As it moves up, it squeezes the mixture of air and petrol. It packs it into a very small space at the top. Imagine squeezing an orange very hard to get all the juice out. This compression makes the mixture very volatile, very ready to explode. It is a moment of great pressure. Everything is tight and ready for the main event. This step is very important for getting a powerful explosion. The third stroke is the one we have been waiting for. This is the power stroke. Boom! At the very top of the compression stroke, when the mixture is squeezed tight, the spark plug makes a spark. This spark ignites the fuel and air mixture, causing a powerful explosion. This explosion pushes the piston down with great force. This is the stroke that creates the power. It is like the kick of a donkey, very strong. This strong push on the piston is what turns the crankshaft. This is what gives the car its power to move. The final stroke is the exhaust stroke. After the power stroke, the cylinder is full of burnt gases like smoke. We need to get rid of them to make way for a fresh charge. So the exhaust valve opens. The piston moves back up the cylinder one more time. This time it pushes all the burnt gases out through the open exhaust valve. They go out through the exhaust pipe. Psh! Once the piston reaches the top, the exhaust valve closes, the intake valve opens, and the whole dance starts all over again. Intake, compression, power, exhaust, again and again. Now even the best dancers can miss a step, and sometimes our engines will have problems. It is your job as a mechanic to be the doctor, to listen to the patient and find the problem. One common problem is the engine will not start. The driver turns the key and nothing happens, or it just makes a clicking sound. This is often a problem with the battery. Maybe the battery is dead or the terminals are dirty and corroded. First, check the battery. Clean the terminals with a wire brush and some water. Try to jump-start the car. This is always the first and easiest check. Another common fault is overheating. You see the temperature gauge on the dashboard going into the red zone. Or you see steam coming from under the bonnet. This is very serious. Stop the car immediately. Overheating is usually caused by a lack of coolant in the radiator. The coolant is the water that cools the engine. Check the coolant level, but wait for the engine to cool down first. Never open a hot radiator cap. It can also be a leak in the system, a broken water pump, or a faulty fan. You must find the leak or fix the broken part. Sometimes the engine runs rough. It shakes and sputters, especially when it is idling. It feels like it is going to die. This can be caused by many things, but a good place to start is the ignition system. It could be a bad spark plug, or maybe a dirty fuel filter is not letting enough petrol through. The engine is not getting the right mix of fuel and air, or the spark is weak. You can check the spark plugs. Are they old and black? Replace them. It is a cheap and easy fix that often solves the problem. Finally, you might see smoke coming from the exhaust pipe. The color of the smoke tells a story. Blue smoke means the engine is burning oil. This is often because the piston rings are worn out and oil is leaking into the cylinder. Black smoke means the engine is burning too much fuel. The mixture is too rich. This could be a problem with the carburetor or the fuel injectors. White smoke can sometimes just be condensation, but if it is thick and sweet-smelling, it could mean coolant is leaking into the engine, which is a big problem like a blown head gasket. Listening and looking are your best tools. Be a good detective. You can do it.